Hello, this is Katie from Crafting Ruby Dreams, and welcome back to my channel. Today I am talking about the goals that I have for 2021 and how I went about selecting them and setting them in the 2021 Makselife Planner. I will also be showing you the goal setting pages in the Makselife and how I filled them out and what my process was with them. I am really looking forward to this. I have a lot of stuff to share with you, along with my word of the year, so I hope you'll stick around for that. And some of the things I want to tell you about first is that Makselife, and I do have the 2021 with the cover by Jess Park. She's Jessie Park on Instagram. Is that if you join the Facebook group, you can find a lot of really great resources and information, including free printables such as this one that you can print out to use as a worksheet to determine what your annual goals are. In addition to that, you'll also find a lot of information from other Makselife users that you can draw on to create something that works specifically for you. A lot of people are sharing a lot of great information. I know that I have drawn inspiration from others, and I'm hoping others are drawing inspiration from what I am sharing. So with that, I will send you into the overhead for the setup of my 2021 Makselife Planner. I do hope that if you find the information in this useful, that you'll hit the like button and subscribe and hit the bell to be notified for future videos. So on to the overhead.
This is going to be my rough setup for what I use in the course of the week, but as I said, today is going to be focusing on the setup of my 2021 goals in the Makselife. And again, these are the bookmarks with my vision as the one bookmark, and so this will be kept in the front of the planner so that I can reflect and go back on it through the course of the week. In the course of my setup, I used all of this stuff too, except for this. This is just my weekly carry with me, keep me on task type of notebook. But I used the functional stickers, and you can see that right there. And this is a notebook that I have that I went through and did an overview. I did basically brainstorming of what I want to accomplish in 2021, and then I let my kind of future vision play out too and dreamed, and so I also did a list for 2025 and 2030. So that helped me figure out what I wanted to focus on in the course of 2021. So let's go to Makselife, and I will again suggest that if you haven't already joined the Makselife group and you're at all interested, you definitely do that, because in the Makselife Facebook group you can have access to free printables such as the compass assessment and these worksheets. I believe that you can also get these. You don't have to sign up. You may not have to sign up for Facebook for all of it. I know that there are a lot available if you sign up for the Makselife newsletter. So I'm just going to go ahead and spoil my word of the year, create. And I wrote this on all of my worksheets for each of, it's the same worksheet, I printed it out 8 times because it's the 8 areas of life. And I wrote it on here so that I could focus in on this word, because that's what I want to do. And so I just worked on let's back up a bit. Let's go to the Makselife, and I did cut out the stickers, and so I can move them around in the binder as I want to do, and go to the goal setting. So I started out with the compass assessment, and I worked on the assessment scoring and the worksheet, and I did write down in the decimal points. Not everybody does this. I think will be helpful for me to see where there's areas of incremental improvement. And then I did my compass, I filled it in. And so it may be a little faint to see, but I used the mild liners of the associated colors in order to color in the areas. And then I just used a black pen to circle the areas of the goal scores that I want to move towards. And then again, so I could easily reference it, I wrote the scores again below each of the headings. So that's where I started out with. And then I moved to the worksheets, and I knew based on what I had written in this book what some of my goals were for 2020 in general, and I was able to parse them out into the various areas of life and also think on them and assess them and figure out if they really were things that I wanted to work on this year, and if so, where they fell in terms of the types of goals that Sarra, not Sienna, I'm sorry, work on between the stretch goals, the progress goals, and the maintenance goals. But first, I also filled out the intentions worksheet, and this was another good area for me to like focus in on, and it's just using short answers to questions and filling out the remainder of the sentences. So it is, what could I use more of in my life? What could I use less of in my life? What characteristics would I like to nurture in 2021? 3 habits I want to develop. I will be more, I will do less, I will give myself grace for, I will let go of, and I will embrace. And so this is meant to get you to the point of determining what your word of the year is. I had already been thinking about that, and I can't tell you what other words I was considering prior to the one coming to create. But once I settled on create, I just knew that it was the word that would encompass so many different areas of my life and was particularly focused in on what I truly want to be doing in the course of this year. And one of the things that is an absolute overarching, it's not a stretch goal because of it's not putting me out of my comfort zone necessarily, but it is a goal that I am working towards recreating a part of my life, and that is to write fiction again. And I have not really seriously written fiction in about 2 years, and due to various reasons, which I have detailed in my video about how my year in writing went for 2020. But I want to focus on writing fiction again. And so in addition to that, this could also be expanded out because it's such a versatile word. And so create is my word of the year, and I got a little fancy with the lettering with that, and it's good practice for my handwriting. So, and I appreciate this, what my word means to me question, because for me, create is not necessarily the definition as in the dictionary is not the sole focus as much as the feelings and emotions that it evokes in me. So here is the, if you just want to read through, Makselife has done a number of videos on how to create and set goals, but you can just read through all of this if watching videos is not a thing for you. And again, I had a lot of these goals already in mind, so it was just more of a, is this the right goal for me? And reading through this helped make me feel like, yes, this is the goal I want to work towards. I also have experience in setting goals with the HB90 system, and so that experience helped me focus in very quickly on what I wanted my goal statement to be. So I didn't have to do a lot of refining work on the goal once I had decided upon it. So I did want to highlight this and I put in a page flag because this is something I'm going to want to go back to on a regular basis. And this is the weekly reflections questions, because I'm glad that they are in here and that I can reference them. They are not printed on the page at the end of the week. So it's a blank page that you can like journal and answer these questions. So that is not there. They're not pre-written on each page because it is a page meant for you to do whatever you want to do with it. But I have a feeling that these are questions I'm going to want to reflect on a weekly basis. So I'm glad that they are here and I can just very quickly reference them with the page flag. And then on this page, things to consider in each area of life when writing goals. And again, I kind of already had my goals there and what I wanted to work towards. But I went through and highlighted using my mild liners the particular areas that I think are things that I want to focus on. There are a couple of words and phrases that I think I need to go back in and highlight, but overall I'm feeling good with what this selection is because these are good reminders. And then this is the mind map for you to help, like, again, refine what those goals are. And so I just wrote in black pen and then highlighted to identify these as according to the particular areas in life. And I just happened to match them up in order as they are on this page. And I wanted to incorporate create to remind myself of what I'm working towards doing. And then here are my annual goals. So what I did, I had seen somebody in the Makselife Facebook group set it up with the stickers like this. And none of these first four have a stretch goal in them, but I used a sticker from the main page. They have stretch goal written on them, so you'll see that when I get to those. And the recommendation from Sarra is that you only set 1 to 3 stretch goals for the course of the year, because those are goals that you're putting yourself, stretching your own boundaries, and that's an uncomfortable place to be, even if it's a positive place to be. So you really want to be mindful of the energy that you're putting into achieving those goals, because those are going to require a high level of energy. So if you don't have a high level of energy, maybe you only want to do 1 stretch goal, but 3 is going to require a lot of energy from you. So what I did was I selected, it's kind of faint to see, but on this particular sticker, it is got the diagonal lines, and so I use those for my progress. And again, I wrote those in with my good old Energel Klena 0.05, and maintenance is the solid. And so I then wrote my goals, and I tried to limit myself to 3 goals per area of life, so no more than 3. I did do at least 1, and there is one area where I really kind of only have 1, but I have at least 1, but no more than 3 really. There's one area I think might have 4, because those kind of actually play off of each other and kind of go towards a higher goal. But I also created short focus statements for each annual goal that began, and it was only 2 words long, and each statement starts with the word create. So I wrote create in capital letters with my mild liners with the finer tip point. And then I did the fancy lettering. So for personal, create joy. Fun and recreation, create wonder. Work and learning, create growth. Family and relationship, create memories. Health and wellness, create resilience. Spiritual and personal growth, create exploration. Financial, create abundance. And physical environment, create peace. So some are obviously easier to see than others, but I'm very happy with the way it turned out. The other thing I decided to do that I think, besides the focus statement, that I think I might have been the first one to do, some other people may have done it, but I hadn't really seen it, was that I decided to note using the heart sticker that I, again, got from the functional sticker book, that I noticed that some of my goals were also related, if not not quite duplicates, but also in other areas of life. So this one in particular, the personal, write 1 to 2 novels, because that is a very personal thing to me, is to be able to call myself a writer, and a fiction writer at that. But it's also work for me because I want to get back into publishing, so that's a job. So I decided to put in the red heart for the work and learning crossover, and fun and recreation. And so I should clarify, the hearts are for goals that are that cross over with other areas of life, are somehow related to other areas of life, draw on other areas of life, or impact other areas of life. So in this, the progress goals for fun and recreation of take at least 1 long weekend solo vacation and identify 5 money-free activities that bring me joy. Those both touch on the financial area of life, in that if I want to take a long weekend solo vacation, I have to save up the money for that. And the 5 money-free activities, those are intended to help me save money and build on my goal of having a mindset of being a saver and not a spender. So, but getting back to the personal, let's go ahead and just read them out. So my progress goal for that is write 1 to 2 novels. Maintenance is dedicate time each week to reflect on the lessons learned from the previous week and set intentions for the coming week. And another maintenance goal is allow myself space to not meet intentions for whatever reason. For fun and recreation, progress is take at least 1 weekend solo vacation. Another progress is identify 5 money-free activities that bring me joy. And my third goal is also progress, and that's determine how much time, and that's, I didn't write in leave time, and it's basically I'm trying to figure out how to budget the leave time I get from my day job that I want to spend on my family, on conferences, and on vacation personal time, where it is truly vacation and not vacation that is somehow tied to a conference, because that's pretty much what most of my vacations have been in the last 10 years. My vacations have pretty much been either centered around going home to see family or going to conferences. So work and learning, these are all progress goals as well. And the progress goals are to basically help you move toward that higher number that you want to be in the compass assessment. So for work and learning, it is identify strategies for growing alternative streams of income, and that again touches on the financial area of life. Rediscover love for fiction writing in order to publish, and that's the crossover with the personal goal. And identify continuing education plan to support the day job, writing, and crafting Ruby Dreams, and that's also going back into the personal in terms of how I feel about doing lots of different things. For family and relationship, it's a progress goal, so I want to identify goals for the relationships I have and those I want to have. So this is one where I couldn't quite come up with other goals for myself at this point in time, so I was happy with the one that I was able to come up with. And for health and wellness, and here we have a stretch goal, and since that took up the 2 lines, I decided to just write big letters for as much as I could. So for this one, develop a regular exercise routine, and the other 2 are maintenance, and that's continue therapy, and then also maintain my regular doctor and dentist appointments. For spiritual and personal growth, I'm not a religious person, so I decided to focus on the personal growth area of this particular area of life. And these are all progress goals. And identify what my core values, what are my core values, learn more about my CliftonStrengths, and because that is very learning based and also impacts the work that I do both in my day job and my fiction writing and other work, I attach the red heart to that, and then align my goals and practices with my core values. And for financial, and another stretch goal, address my limiting beliefs surrounding money and wealth. And I originally just wrote surround, and so I had to pencil in the ing. And this is where I had more, but these two maintenance goals are kind of both play into this particular progress goal. So the two progress goals are spend less than my income, which is something that I really need to work on, and then reduce my debt load. And if I can, as long as I can spend less than my income, reducing my debt load will happen naturally, but maybe get even a little bit more ahead with that. And these two maintenance goals are to help me spend less than my income and therefore reduce my debt load. And that is knit solely from stash. And since this is a hobby specific maintenance goal, I put in the yellow gold heart for personal. And this one is going to be interesting but possible. And that's plan from stash. And that means using stickers, washi, all of the planner related accessories that I have. Plan from stash more than 50% of the year, preferably closer to 75%. And again, the yellow gold heart for the crossover with the personal area of life. And then the final one, and the one that's really the second biggest thing I want to do besides getting back into fiction writing, and that's addressing my physical environment, because what I've learned with 2020 and the pandemic is that while my current apartment has worked well for the last 6 years, and me being frequently out of the house by going to the day job and other things, it is not necessarily the best for spending my entire day in a studio apartment, and at times not leaving the apartment for days. That is not the best environment for me to mentally be in. And related to that is also the amount of clutter that I have just accumulated as a result of the emotional spending that I've done, which also goes back into financial and increasing debt load. But I am working on addressing that, but I also need to lift the mental weight of my belongings. So the number one goal is to move apartments, preferably to at least a one bedroom that is minimum the same size as my apartment, but preferably larger, and strong preferences with a dishwasher and in-unit washer dryer. Those two things are going to be tough. The other aspect, the next stretch, my top three things that I want in an apartment is to have in-unit washer dryer, dishwasher, and private outdoor space in the form of a balcony or a little patio. That's going to be tough to get all three in DC, because there is, in terms of the what my budget is, it's just going to be tough, because I know that New York City has seen a significant decrease in rents. Apparently San Francisco has too. DC has not. And with the incoming administration, I don't see rents going down anytime soon. So I'm going to have to see what I can find within my budget, because that is the primary consideration no matter what is my budget. But at the very least, I need to get a one bedroom so that I have a bedroom space that is separate from my living space. So, and because moving is going to cost money, I have the green heart for the indication this impacts the financial area of life. And then a progress goal is to significantly reduce the clutter in order to reduce the mental weight of my belongings. That is also going to help me when moving, because I hate moving, and the less I have to move, the better. And then maintenance goal is to create and maintain a cleaning schedule that supports a physically and mentally healthy living environment. So when I get back to DC, because I'm currently at my parents' until sometime in February, I need to work on that. What might be happening is that when I go back to DC, my parents are likely driving me back, and they will also likely be spending at least a couple of days with me to help purge the apartment. So I might be getting rid of a lot more clutter a lot faster than I had planned, but we will see. That will be helpful because I need the additional third person, more objective party to help me separate from the emotional weight of the belongings. So all of this will be interesting. So those are my annual goals. And then this is my vision board. And the one thing I realized that I hadn't put on here is the word create. So I might create a sticker to put over here. But I got some magazines and pulled from them not as many images as I would have liked, but whatever. So I pulled what I wanted and what I wanted to use. And then I went in with Papermate Flare and used colors that I could, as best as possible, match to the areas of life. Like I didn't have a gray one for physical environment, so I just went ahead and used a gray blue. But I created I will statements for all of them, and I am very much hoping that reflection on this is going to help. And I love this design of this bathroom. So this is goals for me to look forward to achieving and having a nice bathroom. And what we love, this is actually, I found an ad for necklaces and charms that are signs, astrological signs. And this is the sign for Cancer, and that's my birth month. So what we love, me. I am trying to make the conscious choice that I love myself, and so therefore I want the best for myself. So, and that is the end of the goal setting section for the Makselife planner. So these are quick tips, and then we begin January, and I will start going into that in the weekly vlog that I'm going to be starting tomorrow. And look forward to that. I have more videos that will be upcoming. They're in a different notebook, otherwise I'd give you the quick tip. But if you have any questions at all, I'd also love to hear what your annual goals are. Just as a quick tip, I am considering doing project-based goals in addition to these annual goals and those would be more along the lines of the HB90 system. I probably won't go as deep into the goal setting and planning of the full HB90 system, but I am realizing that there are certain projects that I want to do in the course of the year that align with these annual goals, but I need to look at them on more of a 90-day system. And so I'm going to be looking into incorporating that type of planning into this, and just to keep myself on track. And I am looking forward to showing you how I'm going to be using this planner in the weekly vlogs, and I hope you'll join me. Let me know if you have any questions. As I said, please also hit that like button. And something I recommend doing is, if you have a word of the year, figure out a way to incorporate it into vision or focus statements that align with whether you do it in areas of life, whether you have just specific goals. Find ways to incorporate that word into your goal setting for the year. And let me know what your word of the year is. I'd love to hear it. So again, create is my year. And I'm looking forward to creating a lot more videos for all of you let me know what you'd like to see. Take care.
Thank you so much for joining me today as I talk about my 2021 goals. And something that I am going to be working on is integrating specific project management goals, such as what I did with the HB90 system, into my broader annual goals that I have set with using Makselife, because I'm realizing that I need something more specific for project management and goal setting for that, such as I know I want to do Vlogmas later in 2021, and I also know that as I said, I'm going to be writing a book and moving apartments. So those are very specific projects that I know I'm going to have to figure out how to manage those within the broader annual goals. And it's like the monthly and the weekly goals will absolutely help, but I think something that's very quarter specific and project specific, such as the HB90 system and what I've learned using that, I think will be very helpful. So again, thank you so much for joining me today, and if you have found anything in this video useful, I hope you will hit that like button and tell your friends. I also hope that you will consider hitting the subscribe button if you haven't already, and hit the bell to be notified for when future videos are available. I am going back to my twice a week filming schedule, and it's going to be slightly different with the vlogs going up on Saturdays, but I hope you enjoy them, and thank you so much again for joining me. Take care, and may all your dreams be Ruby dreams. Bye-bye.